The following program likely contains material that is suitable for mature audiences only and not suitable for children. It is by far not the nastiest stuff you'll find on TV, radio, or the internet, and will probably make you laugh more than it will upset you. However, because some people, especially in the South, are so damn sensitive, we feel obligated to warn you ahead of time. So if you've accidentally stumbled upon this program and are not a legal adult who is ready, willing, and able to be completely offended, navigate away from this station and log on to IHateTheFirstAmendment.com. You will feel better about yourself.
Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40. Maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance.
Can you
So are everybody else's.
It's really bad.
Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Dance. Even if you have nowhere to do it but in your own living room. Read the directions, even if you don't follow them. Do not read beauty magazines. They will only make you feel ugly.
Brother and sister, together we'll make it through. Someday our spirit will take you and guide you there. I know you've been hurting, but I've been waiting to be there for you.
Do 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 do.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the away. It's like you're
Is my voice coming out good today? It is? Okay. Put it louder, baby.
Your day, your week, your month.
It's my favorite day of the week, Monday.
But I'll be there for you.
Create your reality, trust your feelings, laugh at problems, believe in something, follow your heart.
I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there.
Take care of your issues, be appreciative of everything that happens to you. It is for a reason.
At 10 and work again at 8. You burned your breakfast so far, things are going great.
Smile to people, ask yourself, what do you really want out of life, and go for it. Let the world watch over you.
She didn't tell you when the world was brought down to your knees that
I'll be there for you.
when the rain starts to fall, I'll be
Hold hands with the ones you love. Give, celebrate, understand, dance, love. This is the key of your freedom. And Lost in Transition, we show you the way.
'cause you're there for me too.
Operating our sounds today, Sophie and Meredith.
Know me, no one could ever see me since you're
Our special invited guest today, Mark Whitwell. He is a yoga teacher, and he's going to be doing some moves today. Of course, he is the author of the book, The Promise of Love, Sex, and Intimacy. How interesting is this? He will be here like in 3 minutes, so please stay tuned. And me, who rocks your world from the red carpet, Cecilia Castelli, together with Tiffany Kaiser. And I will not be talking too much because we are already a little bit late, so he will be here in 2 minutes after the commercials. Please stay tuned. I shall return.
we're stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, even your year. I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before. I'll be there.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
Mr. Footlong hot dog inventor.
When conventional wisdom said no one could make a hot dog longer than 6 inches, you dared to dream.
Dared to dream.
You knew the limitations of a regular-sized hot dog bun, and you ignored them.
Can't stop me now.
You made a 10-inch wiener, and people cheered.
Oh,
But you weren't satisfied. You said, wait, I think I can still give you 2 more inches.
gotta want it.
So this bud's for you, Mr. Hot Dog Hero, because you gave every single one of us our fondest wish, a bigger wiener.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Deloche Vineyards has been a pioneering producer of Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Zinfandel in the Russian River Valley since 1975. As a wine-growing region, the Russian River Valley is known as America's Burgundy, a distinction in which Deloche has been an important factor. The winery has received numerous accolades and 90-plus ratings. The Wine Spectator calls Deloche one of California's best producers of Chardonnay, and Wine and Spirits has proclaimed Deloche Winery of the Year 10 times. Our goal at Deloche is to produce exceptional wines that spotlight the personality of the Russian River Valley and to passionately seek understanding of the valley's unique terrain, ensuring the wines are terroir-driven and distinct. We successfully do this in a socially responsible and environmentally sensitive way. The estate vineyards and garden are certified organic and biodynamic, and in the cellar we use traditional Burgundian winemaking techniques such as open-top wood fermentators, native yeast fermentations, and hand punch-downs. Come visit our website at DelocheVineyards.com.
T Radio V.
Louder. You can put it louder. Ah, there we go. I have to have the feeling of the discotheque feeling. This is one of my favorite songs too, The Strokes. Anyways, I forgot to give all the numbers out, man. It's because today I've been running around. It's tradiov.com to rock your world, 877-699-4662. If you have any questions, if you're curious about anything about yoga, you can like us on Facebook.com/TRadioV or follow it at Twitter at TRadioV or Ceci Castelli in Twitter or Lost in Transition in Facebook. Man, this is too long for me. We're going to have to just like put a paper here and I'll put it in the screen. Anyways, I have somebody here, Mark Whitwell. I'm so glad that you're here, Mark. Welcome.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here. It's like, well, sort of like a little party going on in here.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, we always celebrate here live.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You can get closer to the mic if you want,
All right.
just in case. Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
If the sound is coming out well, yes.
Yep.
Well, how are you doing, and welcome to my show.
Thank you so much.
You're from New Zealand,
I
you
am,
told
but
me.
yeah, I kind of live in the world, but I was born in New Zealand.
Yeah, you still have an accent, like a little bit mixed.
Oh,
Tell
totally.
me about your story. Where you were born there? How long did you live in New Zealand?
Look, the all the people who killed the natives all over the world, they got to New Zealand, they ran out of energy, and they couldn't kill them off anymore. So 50% of New Zealanders are Polynesian, you know.
Right.
So it's a beautiful country where the indigenous culture survived, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's my home.
Okay. So you've been living in the States for how long, or you've been traveling?
Oh, I live here, you know, I'm a resident of the U.S., and I live here because someone said to me once, if you want to change the world, you have to change America first. Change America and the world will change. So that's why I came.
Wow, that's a very, very strong. I'm hearing like, is it coming out? There's a little bit weird, the noise or
Little
something.
echo.
Is it good? Okay.
No, you know, America is transforming itself slowly, and once America comes right, the world will come right, don't you reckon?
Yeah, I agree a little bit with what you're saying. It could be true. Now, how long have you been living in the States?
15 years.
Oh, well, that's a long time. And how did you get into yoga? How did this come to you, or you went
Because
to it?
life was so boring without it.
Good.
And I was dished up, you know, the usual middle class life. And you know,
What does that mean? Okay, explain
you know,
it
the
to
American lifestyle that we all got so bored with. You know, I think we've reached a tipping point now with the Barack's second term. Yeah, I think, you know, that old world might be finished. And here we are, you know, in the new world. And there's great hope. I mean, it's deeply sad that right now Gaza has flared up again. We've got to do something about it. Mm-hmm. We have a non-profit called the Heart of Yoga, and we teach yoga in the Middle East to women who then teach. You know, if we don't change at the grassroots level, there'll never be any change. You know, the change has to happen in everybody's, you know,
Individual personal life.
in the
I
heart
agree.
and the body. Everybody's allowed to be intimate with their own life, you know. That's the point. That we are born at one with life. We're intimate with life, intimate with this universe. We are the universe. You know, we are
Yes.
the natural state. We are reality itself, you know, capital R. But that's been taken off humanity with a whole lot of stupid ideas, you know. Trying to get to a higher state, it makes this a lower state, and we ignore our own wonder, you know.
I agree. I agree completely now. I know exactly where you're going because I've been reading a lot of all these things. And I'm just curious about your personal journey. What made you start yoga? I know you were bored, but did somebody introduce it to you? How did you get to yoga?
Yeah, the Beatles.
The Beatles.
The Beatles went to India, man. And they, John Lennon and George in particular, their personal stories that they told to the whole world. And they were the most famous people on planet Earth, and they stayed ordinary people.
Mm-hmm.
The ordinary hero, the working class hero, and that's who they were. And they explained their own personal spiritual journey to the world, and it brought Eastern philosophy to the public mind in the West for the first time. So, I was just a kid in New Zealand, what I said, in the middle class lifestyle, where you're dished up, they're getting you ready for the factories or the universities so you can become productive in the exploitative economies, and so that's what I was doing. Going to university, I thought this was not enough. There wasn't enough knowledge there. There was no real education in it.
In university, there's never enough knowledge. It's only intellect.
Yeah,
That's not the whole body or the spirit.
Yeah,
It's only here for the mind. That's
they're only
it.
preparing you for the economy that is essentially an exploitative economy that's raping
They don't
the
prepare you
planet.
for fear, for love, for anything,
Yeah.
for what it matters. It's just like you're reading stuff that are just like,
Exactly.
it's good for your brain, but it's not
Yeah.
going to, work it through your life or however you say it.
Yeah. So I wanted a real education, and at that time, that whole explosion of British pop music had reached the world. Thank God for black slavery in America, because it produced the blues and rock music, and then there came Elvis.
Yeah.
And then there came John Lennon, because he wanted to be like Elvis,
Yeah.
and that was the key that went.
Explode.
The white population of the world heard Black Pulse, and they loved it. And
Okay, let me ask you something, Mark. What is yoga exactly for the people that are not familiar? I know, sure, this in the Bay Area, the majority of people kind of know what it is, but
you see, to complete the story, I didn't know what yoga was or meditation or anything, because it wasn't in my society. So I went off to India to find out and to get a real education.
Wow.
So at the 20 years old, I'm in India. The Beatles had already been there, and that was intriguing to me. So I went, I wanted to find out what this was all about. So I went and searched and went around India for years, and met many, many teachers. But I met my special teachers there, Krishnamacharya. Krishnamacharya was in Madras, now known as Chennai, and he lived to 101 years old and died in 1989, so he's very recent in our time, And he was the founder of modern-day yoga. And so the young students who popularized yoga in the West, there's B.K.S. Iyengar and K. Patabi Joyce, and many, Indra Devi and many others, his own son Desikachar, So I had the privilege of meeting him as a young boy and getting to know what yoga actually was, and there I had an education.
so it started in India. Wow, that's a good place to start yoga. So you came here, and now you are a teacher, and you wrote a book, The Promise of Love, Sex, and Intimacy, which is this one right here. How a simple breathing practice will enrich your life forever. It's really interesting how you put this, because, for example, I meditate, and I never practice how to breathe, and breathing is like everything, actually. Yeah. Does yoga really focus in the breathing, part? Just because I don't do yoga, so I'm...
Yeah. Well, yoga is all about breathing. What it is, yoga is to link the breath to the whole body movement. So the body moving is the breath movement, This body loves its breath. The breath and the body out, like
tight.
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
It's a lover relationship, My body loves its breath, and so does your body. And it's just that yoga is something that you can actually do. You can move your anatomy to engage this breath and move it, a longer inhale, a longer pause after inhale, a longer exhale, longer pause after exhale. And I'll tell you another thing, the exhale loves the inhale. See, the exhale is strength from the base, the male force of life. And the inhale is receptivity from above through the soft crown and the frontal line right to the base. So the inhale is the feminine aspect of life. And we're all male, female, of course,
Right.
Sex is how we get into this universe. No one gets in without sex. And so we have the male and female qualities in our own embodiment. And when you engage this love relationship of my body to its breath, my exhale to it, inhale, strength to receptivity, male to female in your own embodiment, then you feel a love of life, an intimacy with life.
Even if you don't meditate? Can you do it without it? Like if you do only yoga?
If you if you are lucky enough to be born freely and live freely, then you don't need to do anything, of course. But everybody is restricted to some degree. The world is suffering dreadfully, and we're born into a society that restricts us, you know. So yeah, we need yoga, and we don't need meditation. What we need is yoga. And see, meditation should never have been split off from its yoga tradition and taught as a thing on its own. It doesn't work. You cannot meditate. So trying to meditate is like trying to put yourself to sleep. You cannot sleep. Sleep arises naturally, you know, when the conditions are right. Mm-hmm. So we're saying you must, you know, if you want to have an intimate life and a clear mind, and you want to enjoy your life, and you want to love life, then there must be a yoga, you know, an actual intimacy with your own embodiment first. This is what that famous Jewish yoga master said, you know, that guy Jesus. He said, love thy neighbor as thyself.
I agree completely.
So you have to love yourself, you see, love this embodiment, and then this body loves its relatedness to life.
Yeah, I agree. Well, the only thing that I don't think that, why is it that you say, because for example, I feel personally that meditation has changed my life in many levels. I do not do yoga, but I think that it has helped me a lot. Why do you think that without, I mean, I know that yoga is important. It's the complementary part of meditation. Yeah. But why is...
You just answered the question.
No, it is complementary, but I don't think it's like, it's useless. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a problem, you see. The most meditation comes from its Buddhist roots. Mm-hmm. And that is the purpose of, you know, if you're a religious, spiritual person, what you do is you reside as consciousness itself. You reside as the witness only to all arising conditions. And this is how Buddhism started off. You know, it was like all male clubs that got together and say, life is so terrible and women are so terrible and it's so messy, let's all get and just drop life. And so they were taught to reside as the witness only to their experience. And this has created a dissociation from experience, dissociation from male to female, you see, and the denial of the feminine, denial of sex. This is what it's done to our world, see. And sure, it works, as if I sit as witness only to my breath or witness to my experience, soon I can have a sense of consciousness or awareness itself. This is Eckhart Tolle's work. You know,
Eckhart Tolle's work, yeah, I read him, and I agree, exactly.
To sit as awareness, but it doesn't give you what we actually need, which is intimacy. We need connection to life, connection to each other.
But why do you, I don't understand, why do you not think that meditating only you connect yourself with your intimate?
The point that I'm making to you is that meditation arises naturally, just like sleep, when the conditions are right. You cannot put yourself in a state of meditation. And if you fluke it and you go into a bit of peace for a while, then it makes matters worse, because then life starts up again. You know, what you really want is an intimate connection to your life. Yeah, especially in the male-female polarity, you know, the love of life, the power of life, you know, the great, you know, mysterious force of reality itself that brought us here in the first place, which is in the male-female union. You know.
Right.
And when I say male-female union, I'm always saying whether that's same-sex or opposite-sex intimacy, it is the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we're all male-female. We're all strength that is receptive.
Right.
And I can just promise you, you know, the title of the book, that if you do an actual yoga practice, then what happens is that meditation arises naturally without even trying. You know, what is meditation? The clarity of mind and the sense that I am at one with my own life.
Yes. But wait a second, meditation, there's a lot of types of meditation. Yep. The one that the Beatles practiced was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, which is with a mantra.
Yeah, and they dismissed it. You know.
Yeah, they did, I know. Except George. I think George kept it. Like, he kept going with it.
Yeah, but, well, it's a big question. But the point is that meditation was always in a yoga context. And when man invented religion and doctrine where they can write it down, they split meditation away from its yoga base. You know, my teacher was Krishnamacharya, had a simple explanation for this, that Buddha was a yogi.
Mm-hmm. He was, yeah.
And yet, when the Dharma of Buddhism was created hundreds of years later, like 200 years after his life, there was this heavy emphasis on the idea of meditation and dropping away, you know, being the witness to your experience. Whereas yoga is teaching that spiritual life, religious life, is the union with your experience. to embrace your experience, not to step back from it. And we've created a world where everybody has stepped back from experience, stepped back from relatedness, from sexuality in particular. You know?
Why do you mention sexuality when you talk about yoga?
Because yoga.
Because sexuality, I mean, okay, go ahead.
Because
Sorry.
yoga is the union of male-female.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see.
It's confusing for me. Like, I don't understand.
How did we come into this universe? You see, there was male and female, and they completely surrendered to each other as the power of life itself. And in that, my mother and father was created.
Mm-hmm.
And I was created in that instant, and that spark of life came in, that mystery power came in. There it was, you know. I think they call that sex. You know, the utter union of male-female. It's sex. But you know what mankind has done to sex? They've made it something completely nasty and negative and abusive.
I know. I was talking about that my previous show on Thursday with Tiffany Kaiser, our assistant production of the show. We were talking exactly about that. Now, let me ask you this before we jump to, because we got to go to a break like in 4 minutes. I'm just curious about this. Do you think that, I mean, what is your vision nowadays with all the things that are happening in a sexual level in society, how people have just like a one-night stand and they go and have sex? What is your vision about that?
Well, my vision is that everybody has the possibility in their, you know, it is a birthright to have deeply intimate sexual life. You know, that sex becomes the expression of love and expression of intimacy. But what happened is that they stepped back from that as if it was some spiritual ideal to go beyond your desire. You know, to go to a higher desire, to go to God, meant that everything else was lower desire. You're supposed to conquer this lower desire. So sex became completely negative in the public mind, you know. And as if it was something that you have to go beyond to be spiritual, to be religious. In fact, the opposite is true. We must we must become intimate with all ordinary conditions and intimate with sexuality before we can know God. That's how it must happen.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, but like I see that people, they have these encounters like superficial, random.
Yeah, so sex has become a completely aberrated thing in our world. You know?
But because sex is linked to the ego as well. You know what I mean? Like, what is your point of view with that? Because sex is something intimate, yes, but it's also an ego trigger. Like, okay, I'm going to go and sleep with this and sleep with that. I'm just having fun, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, just having, there's no fun at all. The predatory male, just because he can, you know. No, there's a real human need for sexual intimacy. And what the religious denial of sex has done is it created the aberration of sex, where sex comes out as an illness, and it's all over the world now. You know, abuse is everywhere.
Yeah.
The need for sexual intimacy is there, and if you don't engage it, then it does come out as an illness. And in many ways, you know, the other option is just to deny it completely. So you either deny it, or you exaggerate it to aberrated ways, you know. And people usually go backwards and forwards between the two. Denying it doesn't work, and then being aberrated doesn't work either.
They're extremes. It's like,
so what I'm teaching here in this book, The Promise of Love, Sex and Intimacy, is how to engage your life as an intimate life.
Okay, wait a second, because we want to go to the break, and I want to talk about your book, and then I want you to do some movements here in the studio. Where's the music? Come on, hit me with the rock and roll, baby.
Yay. You got some Beatles?
No, that's perfect. Do, please. There's a lot of quiet. There's a lot of silence inside here. It looks like tension. I don't want people to get scared. It's Monday. Everybody's slow today in the studio, even myself.
Boy, you're...
Here comes the
Are we
sun.
on air right now?
Yeah, we are.
Still on air.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We're off.
Comes the sun, doo-doo. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne wearer.
Like a bullhorn, your cologne announces your every arrival 4 blocks before you get there.
But here he comes now.
Here a splish, there a splash, everywhere a splish splash. You don't stop till every square inch of manhood is covered.
Everywhere a splish splash.
Overslept and haven't got time to shower? Not to worry. You've got 4 gallons of cologne and a plan.
Pour it on.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer, because we think we smell a winner.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all OMG. Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Entertain your guests like an all-star. Hit a home run and pick up a bottle of Lefty O'Doul's Margarita and Bloody Mary Mix. Lefty O'Doul's is quite simply the best premix out there right now. You haven't had a great Bloody Mary or Margarita until you've had Lefty O'Doul's. You can find them at your local grocery store, or you can go online to worldfamousmixers.com. Also available Margarita Zero with 0 calories. Perfect your game. Lefty O'Doul's Margarita and Bloody Mary Mix. Your bartender in a bottle.
T Radio V.
Picture yourself in a boat
On a river.
with tangerine
I
trees
love this song.
and marmalade skies.
You nailed it, Meredith. Thank you so much.
Somebody
I gotta wear my sunglasses today. A lot of light in the studio for a Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have again. I have to read your name because I don't want to mess it up. I'm so confused with your names. Mark Whitwell. Is that correct?
Mark Whitwell. That's me. Yeah, thank you. And thanks for coming on with the Beatles. We mentioned the Beatles, and then you up here. It was
she's
so
right on.
beautiful.
I know.
Thank
I love
you.
the Beatles.
Thank you, George. Thank you, John, Paul. You know, I met Paul McCartney.
You did?
Oh, it was very special.
How lucky are you? Where did you meet the guy? I would have loved to
in
do that.
Amagansett in Long Island, and he was just walking by. I was doing a yoga film, and I walked out there with my book and said, if I ever met a Beatle, I knew what I wanted to say to him. And first he thought I was just another fan. So it was a little bit coy. And I came up, but Paul, I just wanted to thank you so much for what you did for my life, you know, the explosion of consciousness that you brought to the world. And I said, you guys single-handedly leveled the playing field. You ended the hierarchies of humanity by staying working-class heroes while you were the most famous. And then he heard me, and he was with his daughter, and he gave me a big hug. I gave him a big hug there in the street. It was so lovely. And he said to me, yeah. He said, thanks for saying that. You know, I hadn't thought of it like that. I said, you know, and then very humbly, he said, yeah, that did happen. He said, but we didn't mean that to happen.
They didn't.
That wasn't our intention.
No, it wasn't their intention. They were just experiencing.
Right, they were just young, honest men.
Oh, I
You know,
love
they
that
didn't
group.
say, let's be subversive and let's, you know, end the hierarchies of society. You know, they just were themselves.
They were themselves, and what I liked about the Beatles so much, and this is why I think they were so revolutionary, because all their songs, even I don't think they even were aware of it. It was all about love. It was the message of above. That's just delivering what, because they composed so many songs in like
All
1
you
year.
need is love.
Love.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Love is all you need. I love that song. So, the Beatles were really good. I love them. I still listen to them. They're great. Let me ask you about your book, Mark, The Promise of Love, Sex, and Intimacy. What is this book about? Just tell us a little bit.
Well, you notice that the word sex is between the two words love and intimacy. And we're saying that sex must be turned around to being an intimate expression. And when it is, then you're healed. That's all.
But wait a second. You say love, sex, and intimacy. Love, sex can't happen. I mean, we are sexual beings, but it can't happen if we don't have an interaction with somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So the book talks about interaction with your
when,
lover, or
when you have an intimate occasion with somebody else. I mean, really intimate, utter connectedness to your opposite. Then there's healing, there's nurturing, there's regeneration in that. You know, and say this is. You know, we live in an abundant paradise, you know, the nurturing force of life itself. that is abundantly regenerating life all the time, and it only has one interest, and that is to regenerate and evolve the species through you, you know. And so when we enter into what is truly a love connection, an intimate connection with somebody else that is expressed sexually, it's very powerful, very healing in the system. But that has been taken off humanity. I mean, everybody wants it.
Why? Why did this happen, Mark? I don't understand.
Because of Buddhism and Christianity in the main, you know, where they said, you know, if you want to get to God, get away from women. Sorry, they did. That's the inherent message for, you know, go to the monastery, concentrate on what is high, concentrate on God, and that makes woman low. You know, and this is what has happened to humanity. You know, from the primordial religion before the invention of doctrine, when yoga was the means of religious realization, it was not the case. It was understood that you get to feel the source of all life, God, by being intimate with all ordinary conditions, intimate, utterly connected to what God has given. Yeah. God has given this body. God has given this breath. God has given this sex.
For a reason.
Yeah, God has given me you, you know. God has given me to you, you to me. You know, so when we enter into intimate connection to what is already the case, what is ordinary, then we feel the source of our life. Then we feel God, the one condition of all conditions.
I agree. So let me ask you this. I'm going to go deeper in the sex level, because a lot of people, you know, as we can see, there's kind of like a lack of understanding of sex and what does it really mean. Yeah. So to be intimate with another, I always think that, and I always believe, I don't know if this is correct, that one should know very well our bodies, like ourselves. And what is your perspective about masturbation, for example?
Well, I think masturbation is a very healthy sexual activity. If you don't have a partner, it is good to engage your sexuality, because that is the energy of life. It's a healthy thing to do, you know. But if it becomes a substitute for a partner, then there's some problem with that. But you know, so many people have to live in this, you know, without having a partner, because our society is so dysfunctional. And so therefore, I think it's good. It's kind of, you know, it's a healthy practice to just be familiar with your sexuality, so that when a partner does come, you're not going from a nil start, nothing.
Exactly, that was my point.
Yeah, nothing for decades, and suddenly you've got somebody there, and you know see, it doesn't work. So it's better to have a healthy attitude towards sexuality, and you know, understand sexuality in your own body.
Okay, now let me ask you something else. When we talk about sex and intimacy and how important it is, does this have something to do with tantric sex? What is your opinion about this when you talk about sex here?
Well, just that yoga is tantra. See, but you know, you've got to be very careful, because there's a whole what I call sexual, you know, tantric sex mongers around there selling these ideals of, you know, how to have a sacred sex and all the rest of it. And if there's not an actual yoga, if there's not a practical means, and this is what it's called, yoga is a practical means to understand the ideals of language, the ideals of religion, the ideals of tantric sex, you know. Yoga, the physical practice, is something that needs to happen so that you can realize those good ideas.
Wait a second. Do you mean yoga before you have sex with your partner?
I don't mean yoga, you know, 5 minutes before you have sex with your partner.
Exactly. So what do you mean? There is a type of yoga, sexual yoga
I'm just saying, if you have a life of yoga, if you're intimate with your own breath, if you're intimate with your own embodiment, if the exhale is intimate with the inhale, you know, if you understand the male-female qualities of your own embodiment by practicing yoga, that when you engage with somebody else, there'll be an extreme benefit.
Right.
And that is what tantric sex is. But I hate that word, because there's so many people teaching tantric sex nonsense without an actual yoga practice. There needs to be hatha yoga, asana. You know, you need to be intimate with your own embodiment.
How many types of yogas are there out there? Because I'm just like so confused with the whole hatha, hasana, whatever it is. Like, okay.
One of our problems in the modern world is there is only yoga. There is only one yoga, and it's yoga. You know, there's only really one brand of yoga, and it's yoga. But what people have done is merchandised yoga, and they've made up, you know, especially in America, they've made up a whole lot of brands and styles, and they merchandise that out, you know. And they do it with authority and charm and Lululemon. No disrespect to Lululemon, but the whole American link up of yoga with fashion and looking good. I just heard the statement on on your radio saying, don't look at beauty magazines; it'll make you feel ugly.
Oh yeah, I have that on my show.
That's
intro.
a good statement.
I put it on purpose because it's good. It's true.
You see, and all that's got mixed up with yoga is like trying to look like somebody else. My teacher said human suffering is trying to be somebody that you're not.
Exactly.
And so everybody is...
It's like a little illusion.
Yeah, everybody is the extreme beauty of life already. Everybody is the extreme intelligence of life. Everybody is the extreme function of life. We are already that. And yoga is simply to participate in what we already are. It's not to try to get somewhere. Or to
be somewhere like look better or physically attractive or whatever.
And see, yoga in America is something that sort of like slim white women can do, some leisure class because they have the money. And men in particular feel very intimidated by this. You feel awkward trying to do something that somebody who has a slim body type can do, so they don't go and they never get a yoga education.
How's that?
Yeah, what's needed for men and women, for everybody, is an actual yoga education. So how do you become intimate with life? And you become intimate with life in your own body first, you see. And if I'm, like Christ said, love thy neighbor as thyself, I love myself, therefore I can love you. And it's very simple, and anybody can do it. And in this book, I have an iPhone and an Android app called I Promise, right? I promise to do my yoga. So if you go I Promise on the app, and then you can download it and you can get this little practice. And
you could do it from home. This is what you mean, right?
Utterly. That's where yoga is done in the privacy of your own.
Oh, I never knew this.
Yeah, it's a personal practice.
I never knew that.
Yeah, of course. See, it's amazing.
I thought it was always like a gym thing that you go in with the mat and everybody's like stretching with their legs.
No.
How important,
that's a contemporary aberration of yoga, and it's all tied up with trying to do something, trying to do something exaggerated on yourself, trying to get to a future possibility, or look like the photo of Yoga Journal magazine or something, or look like the cover of Vogue magazine. It's all the same.
It's all the same. Now wait a second, Mark, something that I'm very curious about. How, like, if I would practice yoga, because I really want to start and I don't have time, this is the truth, but if I do it from home, I might wake up earlier and do it.
I'm saying, please read my book
and
then download the simple instruction. It's called a smart book, and you can put it on your iPhone and you look at these little videos and you can see how you can move and breathe and do the practice. Or you can download the iPhone app, I Promise, Android, and then you just follow it and just do it at home like a little 7-minute practice. I call it your 7-minute wonder.
7-minute practice a day, that's it?
Yeah, and I want you to promise me that you'll do it. So
I will do it. 7 minutes is nothing. I thought it was like 1 hour and a half or something.
You promise. That's why we called it the promise. If you promise me that you'll do it, I promise you the results, which was you'll feel better and you'll feel better. 2 different words.
Okay, wait. One more question that I have before we go to the break. Just because I'm a vegetarian and I really take care of what I eat, what I say, I'm in a whole spiritual path, of course. But, like, for example, what do you believe about food, linked with yoga? Is food important for you? What do you eat? What do you recommend?
Yeah. I know this show goes all over the world. Everybody has their own dietary customs, and who am I to say, right or wrong?
Yeah.
Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, I have no food prescription at all for yoga. But one thing I can say is for health, it is better to eat slightly lighter than we are doing in the West or in some Asian countries. We eat too much. We eat too much carbohydrate. It is better in your portion of food on the plate, you have a quarter protein, whatever protein source, plant or meat, quarter protein, quarter carbohydrate, and the rest lots of leafy green vegetables.
But I love pizza. What am I going to do?
There could be a problem. Pizza every now and again.
I love pizza.
But if you had
once a week, I have it.
Once a week, not too bad.
I have it only Saturdays or Fridays.
That's all right.
I love
of course,
it.
that's all right. Some treats like that essentially aren't too good for you. Like
they're not good at all.
Too much carbohydrate, too much sugar, too much fat. You just know it's not. And if you eat that diet, you're going to die soon if you eat it all the time.
Oh, no, I know.
But if you have it as a special treat, then it's all right.
A special treat. Okay, so we're going to the break. Where's the music? Ta-chan! There we go.
More Beatles. I love it.
Meredith, in my next life, in the other planet, because I'm not coming back here. I already told you guys. In my next life, you're going to be a man, and I'm going to marry you, man, because you just read my mind. It's really amazing. I shall return. This is Lost in Transition to Rock Your World with Mark Whitwell, yoga teacher. Please stay tuned.
There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy.
Budweiser presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
When conventional wisdom said no one could make a hot dog longer than 6 inches, you dared to dream.
Dared to dream.
You knew the limitations of a regular-sized hot dog bun, and you ignored them.
Can't stop me now.
You made a 10-inch wiener, and people cheered.
Oh.
But you weren't satisfied. You said, wait, I think I can still give you 2 more inches.
Gotta want it.
So this Bud's for you, Mr. Hot Dog Hero, because you gave every single one of us our fondest wish, a bigger wiener.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Always an animal lover, Carrie Underwood drank a vitamin water energy and found the drive to try horse whispering.
That's all that matters after all. It sure makes everything else seem so small.
Miniature horse whispering. Yep, old Starfire sure likes Miss Underwood, and he's not alone.
She kind of makes a man want to be a miniature horse.
Vitamins, electrolytes, no sodium, vitamin water.
Let's ring you up.
Mary? What are you doing here?
It's Megan. I'm getting new insurance.
Marjorie, you've had a policy with us for 3 years.
It's been 5 years.
5 years.
Well, Progressive gives Megan discounts that you guys didn't.
Paperless, safe driver, and I get great service.
Meredith, what's shaking, bacon?
They'll figure it out.
Getting you the discounts you deserve. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
T Radio V.
Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time.
It's easy. All you need is love and pizza. I would add that. You can be yourself in time. Damn, that message should be like more out there, you know. This is Lost in Transition. You guys again with Mark Whitwell, and I was going to ask him, you know, I'm so curious for you to do some movements. Just because everybody, you know, time is like nowadays everybody has like a hectic schedule.
Yep.
Everybody's running around for what? I always ask myself, where the hell are we running? Where are we going? And what's the rush, you know?
Yep.
But unfortunately, there's like a wave that everybody's like so busy doing so many things. So this thing that you're saying of you can do yoga at home, that's sacred. That's better, like to go to like an institution or a place or whatever. It really like releases me because now I can, before meditating or after, I can stand up and do 7 minutes. I thought I needed like 1 hour.
Yeah, I'd say before meditation is a really good idea.
Before meditation.
Yeah, because it sets up the conditions of meditation. See, doing your postures really is meditation. And I say meditation, your physical movement, your breathing and meditation is a seamless process.
Okay.
You know, or in the yoga language, asana, pranayama, meditation, and life is a seamless process. You are at one with life, you see.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, I really, really want to see these movements.
Okay.
I am so excited, and I will try to follow you. I don't know if I'm going to, like, I never did yoga, so probably I'm going to be like a goofball here.
Just to make this point very clearly, if you do your yoga practice, then all the ideals that are expressed in religious text, they come to you naturally without even trying. You know, I'm not putting down meditation, but meditation arises naturally if you are intimate with life itself. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, now when we're going to do the practice right now, the microphones won't be you know, near, so you might have to talk loud or just do the movements, and I'll copy you.
Now,
how exciting!
Am I good here? You can see me, right? So
yeah, we can see you perfect.
Right. So if anyone's watching this at home, and you can try with me too, I just want you to, a really simple thing. I want you to inhale and look up and see the hands like this, and then exhale, bring the arms down again. Good, and do that once more. Inhale, come up. See the hands, and exhale. Now, I'll tell you, your exhale is very strong. It's that sound there at the throat, the same breath that the body uses when you fall asleep. But when you're inhaling, you're going like sucking air. This famous doctor friend of mine, a medical specialist in respiratory problems, he says, inspiration is another word for inhale. Inspiration doesn't suck, right? So it's not sucking, it's not like that, but you make a little sound here in the throat. You can just put your fingers there and tuck the chin in, just make a little soft sound. I'm going to do it in the mic, just sound like this.
Are you inhaling or exhaling right there?
Yeah, both. Make your inhale sound the same as the exhale.
But it comes from, like, I don't...
Yeah, you feel it on the inhale? Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. But it's like I feel like I'm forcing it.
I know, but you won't because the anatomy does it, you see. Now you go with the sound at the throat, inhale. And exhale. Good, and again, inhale. Sound at the throat. I don't want to hear your nostrils. The throat stays relaxed. Yay, see, whole body breathing. Once more, inhale. And exhale. This all I'm asking
wow, I never did this before.
Yeah, it's very easy.
But that's not going to leave me run out of voice if I do that?
No, it's going to strengthen you. But soon this, I mean, that was your first time to do it, so it's a little odd. But this is not like a tight valve. This stays soft. It's 2 finger widths. It's the whole trunk that determines how much air is passing through.
Good.
It's very soft after a while. So the first time it might feel a bit restricted, but it's not to be restricted.
Okay.
All right, then place one hand here, one hand there. Breathe into the upper chest. The rib cage expands. On exhale, the belly flattens in a little bit. Just feel that. Press. Inhale, upper chest. Exhale, flatten the belly. So it's above to below principle. Inhale above, exhale from below. Right, now one more key little...
Okay, wait, I lost you there. When I inhale, my stomach has to go in or out?
No, forget about the tummy
Okay.
on inhale. On inhale, you just expand the ribs in the front and back. See? Like that, right? On exhale, the opposite. The abdominals lift in and up. Exhale. Inhale. You feel that? Above to below. It's profound. It has religious consequence. Above to below. You know, female to male. Strength to receptivity. Right? Anyway, next point is let the breath envelop the movement. If this is the body movement, this is breath. I start the inhale, then move.
Okay, wait, now my pressure's like going down because I feel tired. Am I doing something wrong here?
No, you're just trying too hard. And it's
Okay.
the first
It's like-
time. Yeah, you see, it can make you feel very relaxed, you see.
Okay.
It puts
Probably,
you in a state,
yeah.
yeah, you're living in San Francisco, and it's go, go, go,
Go, go,
And
go.
You do a little bit of yoga, and then you just want to go, you know?
Gotcha. So
So-
what's next? Yeah, tell me.
Body breath. Let the
Body
breath
breath.
start and end the movement. So I inhale, then move, and I'm still inhaling when the hands come together. Pause, exhale, then move. Right? Inhale, upper chest, not the nostrils. Exhale. Keep going. Inhale, let me hear it. Yay, good. See, the body movement is the breath movement. That's the key point. Do 2 more breaths. The body movement is the breath movement. Let me hear the soft sound in your throat on the inhale. Yay. Once more. And exhale. Good. Good student.
Good.
Then you rest. And I'll get down on the floor and I'll show you another couple of things. right?
Okay.
You can just watch.
Just want to make sure. Do
Is,
we get him
is
there?
the camera on me?
Yeah, just the... Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. Perfect.
Right, and I just want you to do this simple thing at home. You inhale, archer. This is good for everybody's neck and shoulders. The exhale, come down, hold the knees like that. Inhale, come up. Pause, exhale. Let the breath start and end the movement. Inhale up, pause, exhale, come down. You got that?
Yeah, that's really easy. I thought it was more
Yeah,
complicated.
no. And then another thing for everybody at home, when you finish, you do that little practice I just showed you, the standing and the lying down. Put your legs on a chair like this,
Uh-huh.
and then just breathe with the arms. Go inhale, pause, exhale. Everybody should do this every day. Inhale,
That's so easy.
pause, and exhale. Like do 6 to maybe 8 breaths like that.
No, I'm seeing if the
Inhale.
camera, I just want to make sure.
Is it on me?
Yeah. So you're putting your legs on the chair. I just want to make sure people understand.
The legs above the trunk is very restful for the heart. It's a super rest.
Wow.
This will heal everybody. If everybody does this every day, just for 7 minutes, what I just gave you, standing, breathing like that, then stretch, lying down like doing a back arch.
Perfect.
And then just like 8 to 12 breaths, maybe like that. Inhale and exhale. I don't know if I'm in the camera.
Yeah, you're in the camera.
No,
You're in the camera.
Inhale. And then after like 8 breaths, 12 breaths, then just rest with your arms open like that and rest for about 3 minutes. And it's super restorative.
And that's it? This is the exercise
That's
in the
it.
morning? Well, that's really
Yeah. That's what
easy.
I want you to do. And then, I mean, you can see why it's meditation. Meditation just arises naturally then. You know?
And this takes a total of how long?
You could do that with 7 minutes.
Let's get up like that again, the microphone,
Yeah.
so people can hear you. I don't know if the audience caught that, but you know, he was putting, because he's wearing black pants and the chair is black, so I'm concerned. His legs were resting on the chair. And I don't know how to explain this in English, sincerely, because my language is Spanish. I mean, I think I don't know how to explain this in Spanish either. But so you're laying down and your knee and your legs are resting on a chair. I have never seen that before, ever.
The weight of the legs go on the chair. It takes it out of the hip socket. So that, you know, very relaxed, very healthy for the hips. But mainly it's a great rest for the cardiovascular system. And when you breathe like this, it stretches. Inhale it, you know, you're stretching all your spine. There's health of the whole spine, you see. Health of the spine, health of the whole body. But there's magic in this breath, you know, the power of the breath.
The power of the breath.
The power of the breath is the power of life. And it's in all religious traditions, you know, in Latin, breath, the word is spiritus.
Yeah, it is.
Breath. In my book, The Promise, there's all these different people from many different faiths. There's Christian people, there's 2 Christian ministers, there's Jewish people, there's Buddhist people, there's Hindu people, there's the Islamic women who practice yoga, and we have a non-profit called heartofyoga.org, and we teach people in the Middle East how to be intimate with their own life, and they come to America. You know, we pay for their flights, and they come here, and we give them a yoga education, and they go back and teach, and you know, even in Gaza, Palestine, Israel, you know, and these women become friends across the borders, you know, different religions, Islamic and Jewish, different nations. The nations hate each other politically, but these women are dear friends. They don't care. They are one life. You know, they celebrate the one life that we all are, and celebrate the cultural differences too. You know, how wild that I can be Jewish and you're Muslim and we're so different. Wow, that's amazing, you know.
That's amazing. I agree completely.
That's what we do.
Now, Mark, we just have 50 seconds left or 30 seconds left. I know that you teach in Los Angeles. You don't live here, but where can people get a hold of you or see your work or just a couple of...
Thanks for asking. My website is heartofyoga.com.
Heartofyoga.com. That's easy. Heartofyoga.com.
And our non-profit, where you can make donations for our Mideast Peace Project, heartofyoga.org.
Heartofyoga.org or heartofyoga.com.
Yeah.
Both of them. Okay.
Yeah, and I have another website for the book.
There you go.
The Promise. Oh, look, she found it. And
That's a nice picture.
I also have thepromise.com.
Thepromise.com. That's very easy, which is the book. Can people find this book through Amazon or any library?
It's
or
in Barnes & Noble and it's on Amazon.
Do you know if it's translated in Spanish?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I want to get that done.
Because there's a lot of a big Hispanic community here, and there's a lot of people in other places that they only speak Spanish, so it would be good to have it in Spanish.
Thanks for mentioning that, because yoga is for everybody.
Yes,
and
I know.
it must be adapted to the individual
needs,
according to their body type, age, and health, and their cultural background. Anybody can do yoga. Anybody.
And it's not hard what you did. Anybody can do it at any age.
It is not something that you do in yoga studios. That's like American merchandising of gymnastics. What it is, it's something that you do in the peace of your own home and the peace of your own body and the peace of your own relationship with somebody else, you know?
Good.
It's love.
Good.
Yoga is making love with life.
Good. Mark, thank you so much for coming. Unfortunately, we got to leave. I know
You're
it was really
welcome.
quick. And thank you for all your knowledge.
Thank you.
And the promise of love, sex, and intimacy. It's his book. I strongly recommend it. I didn't read it, but, all the things that he said was really interesting. At least to know what's going on in this book. I'm very curious about that. This is Lost in Transition. You can put that louder, honey.
And that book is for you to take home.
Oh, this book is for me? Oh, I need a dedication here. You have to write something here. I'll see you in the off the air in 1 second. This is Lost in Transition. I think that tomorrow is going to be a rerun because I can't make it. I have to decide that right now. But if I don't see you tomorrow, I see you Wednesday. We have an Oracle live here on Wednesday. So if you want to know your future and call, you can do that as well. Lost in Transition, 11:05 tomorrow and Wednesday, and Thanksgiving weekend, so I won't be here Thursday. I love you all. Have a beautiful day, and God bless you.